Story this morning takes place in the United Nations. The UN's General Assembly overwhelmingly condemned the U.S. Economic blockade on Cuba for the 24th year. Now, the non-binding resolution was adopted by a vote of 191 to 2. The U.S. and Israel were once again the only two countries to oppose the measure. The U.S. and Cuba began an era of rapprochement in December, but Havana has insisted that if the blockade is not lifted, relations between the two countries cannot be normalized. Now, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno praised the unprecedented support for the resolution against the blockade that was unilaterally imposed by Washington over 50 years ago.
It has been a historic record vote of the United Nations General Assembly resolution entitled Necessity of Ending the Economic, Commercial and Financial Blockade imposed by the United States of America against Cuba, which was adopted by 191 votes in favor, 2 votes against, and 0 abstentions. Almost the entire international community has expressed its support.
The Cuban diplomat said he was disappointed with Washington's decision to vote against the resolution. Now, he also said they have now found themselves in a position of international and political isolation due to its minority standpoint to continue implementing sanctions, of course referring to the U.S. Now, the U.S. said before the vote they were not in favor of lifting the ban because Cuba's resolution has not reflected the spirit of cooperation of President Obama. Rodriguez called the explanation contradictory.
The blockade against Cuba is a unilateral act of the U.S. and should be lifted unilaterally without asking for anything in return. It's only up to the U.S. to adopt the necessary measures to comply with the international law, as President Obama has said, to serve the national interests of the U.S., which will be benefited by the lifting of the blockade.